shit. Alrighty, folks, let's see who shows up. If anybody. Where is the chat room? Fuck me. There it is. Pop out. La 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 la. Is there dark mode? I guess not. God, what should I play now? I think just fuck with the browser, maybe. New window. This Chrome thing. Did I delete that? Window capture. I guess I didn't. Huh. I didn't make that fucking window capture. Okay. Cool. Hey, good peoples, good peoples. What is going on? Might as well watch this. Unless somebody else says different. Cover myself up. Oh. Damn. God.
Everybody can do something.
Nope, yet. Check. Welcome to the room, comrade. Yes. We are watching more Pingu. You want some borscht? How you doing, Jack? What's up with you? Chipping balls.
But what the send every polygon on phone with the same can never be pumped very big.
Jesus, looks like a penis. Oh, I'm doing good, man. I just got done streaming on my Twitch channel. I mean, you gotta show up to that sometime, man. Show up to my Minecraft Big Joe channel on Twitch. I streamed for like 3 hours just now, but the room died, so now I'm fucking around over here. Nah, I ain't too bent up about it. Just like where are they guys? Where are these guys at? Oh, I got downloaded. Okay. It's a bit loud. Glory to the motherland. Yeah, Twitch keeps saying that you're online, right? Hockey fan something is your username. It keeps saying that you're online, but I don't know. Centrism. Be spineless. How do you like the room title? Oh!
Bingo! Not quite, but.
You can use some.
Ah, I hate ads. I hate them. It's a bit low. I gotta turn down the exposure on my camera. That's a little better. Not so washed out. He's like, what was you about to say? Here we go. Boy, they love playing that song.
Now listen closely.
Ah, damn commercials. I'm just playing whatever. Seeing if people show up. I'm glad you showed up. At least someone did. Albus Dumbledore! Welcome to the stream, man. How you doing?
Alors, animation vendeur va demain, vite, vite, vite,
So
vite.
glad you showed up. Jackie's here too. Hey Albus, do you mess around with Twitch? Joe looking like a snack. It's Harry Potter. Oh, okay. I'm just saying I have a channel on Twitch called Minecraft Big Joe. If you ever mess around with it, feel free to check it out and follow sometime. And follow sometime maybe. I'm turning that page into a more political. So what's new with you, man? Pingu in the gulag. Damn, that shit's overamped. That shit kills though. Jack says, look this up. Alright. Yeah, let's look at that. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Dear blacks, Latinos, and gays, imagine my call when I raped you. That got your attention, didn't it?
Ah,
Your butt hurt is pretty easy to think. Why the hell should anyone trust you? You
keeps
are
changing shirts.
lazy, and your opinion sucks. No one cares about the little people like you, and shut the fuck up. You've done enough damage. As it is, you could disappear. And it's odd because many of the same people who care about you don't notice you left.
Yeah.
There's a clear difference between executing Israeli people and actual hate crimes. We're all Nazis now. We're just going to make sure that no hand-wringing Jewish people can exist. Hashtag 62 million. Hashtag CrystalNact2015. I'm a racist. Literally Hitler. And will cause mass destruction. But I really care about black people. Yeah, give me a break. I will use my white male privilege to murder over 112 million black people and gays. Not all Muslims will be murdered. Some will be lectured all day about basically a bunch of corporations that make extremist videos. Hipsters will be sent to concentration camps. Engaged in combat against the homeless, using minorities as human shields. So what about Hispanics?
He keeps
Newsflash,
changing
the
complexion.
majority of Hispanics are illegal immigrants. And unpleasant, we're just gonna drop bombs on their cities. Also being bombarded would be totally funny. Turns out that zero diversity policy is endorsed by everyone. So it's bye-bye PJW.
To Beta or yeah, let's watch this. All credit
Get
goes
Spectrum
towards
TV and internet from
Secular Talk.
$89.98 a month.
Give him a
Plus,
thumbs
save
up.
up to 40% on your mobile bill. Introducing Spectrum Mobile.
Yeah, he don't look too alpha,
So guess who
man.
decided to jump into the 2020 Democratic primary conversation? Beto O'Rourke. In fact, he flat out changed his answer when asked about it. He used to say no, now he says he isn't ruling it out. Quote, not ruling it out. So listen, Beto O'Rourke is a guy who I absolutely 100% positively supported over Ted Cruz. You go back and you watch the segments. But I must admit, there were some things I was ignorant about when it came to Beto O'Rourke. I have since learned more. And what I see, I don't like. Now, if Beto O'Rourke runs and he runs as advertised, okay, fair enough. But what I'm going to object to is if he makes a fraudulent argument. And that fraudulent argument is, and I'll explain it in detail in a second, so hold your fire here. But if he argues like, no, I'm the lefty in here, I'm the progressive, I'm the one, like there's already people running who are way to the left of him. But he might go out there and really try to present himself as, no, like I'm the guy who's on the left, and I'm the guy who's the best
Not
representative
really.
of the left, and therefore I'm the guy who's best positioned to take on Trump. Now, there were some concerning things already. I remember it was a big story how Beto said in one of the debates to Ted Cruz, listen, man, there's a reason why the president calls you Lion Ted, and there's a reason why it resonates. And then afterwards, he backed away from that and apologized for it. So I don't know, I may not have used the right words, perhaps that was a little too strong. Now, when I see that, I go, oh my goodness, that is profound weakness. No, you don't. I mean, one of the things that people loved about Trump is that he would never back down. Beto looks like he's poised to do the opposite of that, where I think that he would honestly be beloved by many Democratic voters, but he's like Bill Clinton and he's like Obama in terms of his demeanor, in terms of his, I call him, there's a certain category of politician, I call them the smooth talkers. And that's what Beto is. He's a smooth talker. Now, some people like that style because they think, oh, he seems so calm and measured and with it. But I'm always skeptical of those people because it always looks like they're putting on an act. When Beto's in front of a microphone and he's talking, it's not the same guy where if he wasn't in politics and you were talking to him at a barbecue somewhere, he wouldn't talk that same way. He wouldn't be given that politician stump speech with that same politician rhythm and that same politician cadence. So I think a lot of Democratic voters will like him, but I don't know if he'll come as advertised, and here's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I warned you that I did some more research and I found some stuff out. It ain't pretty, man. So let's go to strike one. Take a look at this. This is, he said this a few months ago when he was still running against Ted Cruz. He said, thanks to these Texans from IPAC for coming by today. Productive conversation on the current security situation in Israel and how the United States can continue to support our important ally in the region. To me, that's too much
I'll play that
fawning
next, Jack.
praise of an apartheid state where they're doing illegal occupation and they're routinely massacring Palestinians. There's nothing there about, like, hey, it's time for human rights for both sides. It's time to cut a peace deal for the Palestinians. That right there is just, I'm going to fawn and fall all over myself over Israel. There's going to be better candidates in the race. Look at the next one. So the AFL-CIO refused to endorse Beto. And why is that? Quote, one of those concerns was likely O'Rourke's support in 2015 for allowing then-President Barack Obama to negotiate the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a trade agreement with 11 Pacific Rim countries. Labor unions, including the Texas AFL-CIO, vocally opposed it, believing it would threaten American jobs. Okay, so the way that they described it there is a little misleading. What they're talking about is Beto supported fast track for TPP.
Ooh.
Fast track is Congress is going to willingly give up all its authority to negotiate the specifics of the trade agreement and to say yes or no to individual provisions. We're going to abdicate our responsibility, turn it completely over to the president, and let him decide whatever in terms of this trade deal. That is stunningly horrendous. He went out of his way. Most of the Democrats said, no, we're not. Are you kidding me? I want to be able to see the final bill, and I want to have input and say for my constituents. No.
Oh, damn, that's a long video. Shit. Let me see. This should be good. Ah, year old, sweet.
Wow. That, like, are they trying to make shitty arguments and be a living, breathing parody? Because you could use that phrase so any white person says anything, white-splaining, then you have no point. Now, furthermore, what exactly is Nomiki saying? Well, she's saying, look, it is by definition less democracy if you have less democracy, because you have independents who are left-leaning who want to participate in the process, and they can't participate in the process because of the process. How many process voters were turned away on a regular basis? And perhaps the people who are criticizing the Democrats, who are left-leaning independents, who are criticizing from outside the party, we have going on right now. They don't fight for a new deal. They don't talk about the fact that our infrastructure gets a grade of D+. They don't talk about the fact that half the country makes trying to make shitty arguments? Maybe people are frustrated because the Democrats aren't living, breathing parody. Joy. Maybe they're not standing outside.
Probably play some more too.
But you're so caught up in defending your perfect, flawless corporate Democrats and Hillary Clinton's campaign that you can't see straight, and you're now making Mitt Romney arguments. Mitt Romney arguments.
Ugh.
Congratulations. Lean forward, MSNBC. This is the left wing on TV.
What the fuck? Yeah, I'll do that one next, man.
We had the process yesterday, and actually, it might be fair to call it a terror attack.
Balloon head.
Left-wing terrorists is what we are. Political agenda.
No. Okay, let's play. I don't know. It don't look like it came up. Secular talk. Storage bench. Bureau rec, please. Unless they deleted it.
You are interested in the unusual, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why.
Oh, channel. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. I got it. So,
Jeremy Scahill pulled out of Milo Yiannopoulos' dirty ass. Now,
let's see. Let's see. There it is. I got it. Found it.
well, here's some fascinating news. Ben Shapiro gets national liberal talk radio. Wow. So we now know who the irrelevant little cocksucker is. Broadcasts his podcast in Seattle and Salt Lake City. Predominantly social justice warrior places there. Now let's pause. Bernie Sanders doesn't exist. Does not exist. But somebody like me, I'm not bullshit. Because one of us serves toast and the other one serves fundamental corporate milk.
He is not questioning milk.
Recall during his campaign, Trump promised not to cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. That is what he promised.
Really? That's all you want is Scandinavian-style social democracy? I want to go further left than you, Kyle. But why is he being propped up by the establishment? Why is he able to get a deal to get on major radio markets? I'm not able to get a deal to get on major radio.
Let's see. What does he have next? Oh, what's good? How to beat your meat. There you go.
Hey guys, it's Gaz and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have something
Gasm.
really sexy, so let's get straight to it. First up, we need to prepare the wet ingredients. So I'm going to be adding half a cup of vegan oat. So, let's get it on. Yeah, that's exactly what you want. Give it a few pounds if you need to, because if you don't, you're going to get mushy, sort of spongy cooked, and it's not really what we're trying to get here. And in a bit, I'm going to start pounding it. I know it's unorthodox, but it just really helps when kneading. But
Yeah, you pounding it.
pop the cock, take your apron off, and chill out.
What looks good?
Ha 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 feminazi. She should stop getting triggered and accept free speech. I agree. No you don't, Democrats only like free speech until it's something they disagree with. Wow, I think there should be a gun ban or restrictions or something. OMG, shut up, stop politicizing a tragedy, but this happens every week. Why are you still talking? Other countries that banned guns don't see mass shootings. How would you like it if I started talking at your grandma's funeral? Calm down, you don't even know the victims, maybe you should stop getting triggered and accept free speech.
World's largest horn off. I don't know about playing that. A pedo bear. Huh. Profit motive day. Unruh. Until you guys come up with something else, man.
Get ready to freefall here at the Elysian House. Who's the man? Well. Oh yeah, you're a showstopper. 50 well. Sweet big info.
Damn. Alright, Jack, we'll watch that next. Damn. Swoosh.
Backside 180. Nice combo. Bonus times 5.
So whoosh.
Redefining style. Bonus times 5.
Boy, you're racking it up.
Front side 7 clean. Big air bonus. Multiplier. Backwash. Sticking it sweet. 50-50 well. 2 times multiplier. Give yourself a high five. 3 times more. Front side 360. Big jump coming. Sweet big air bonus. Backside double biscuit.
Yeah.
Call your mama in the room. Show her how great you are. Great dancer with a scooter. Multiplier equals 3.
Progressive Digest, what is up? Welcome to the room. We're just chilling out watching some videos. If you have any suggestions for what I can play for you, let me know. Tonight is just a screw off night. I see you changed your profile picture. Man, I'll digest. I love this fucking game. I know it's older than shit, but I love it. But I love SSX3 more, but I just can't play it and stream it at the same time. I can play it by itself, but I just can't stream it. But I love it, man. Love this game. We're gonna be running out of time. I'm glad you're here. Glad you can make it. Checking out the stream. Appreciate that. Us small progressives gotta stay together. Stick together. Time to become more formal with the channel. I plan to drown in some hours in the channel this semester. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, put enough. Hey, just put into it what you can when you can, and don't get burned out. Me, it's easier to do live streams and shit. Let's see if I can put in this other video that Jack wanted me to play. Here we go. Here we go. This should be good.
Hey, what's going on?
It's mine, Daddy. Noah keeps taking away from me.
Noah, give it back.
No.
Noah, give it back.
No.
I said give it back now. Noah!
Oh,
Larry, what the hell are you doing? Larry, you can't just...
he's slapping people.
Larry!
Get your hands up, man. He said, yeah, he rough. Oh. Yeah, he's slapping the police. Damn. Oh, here, let's play this for a minute.
They actually dropped 2.
He actually dropped 2. Doosh.
right, Snail, let's go! Just you and me! Put him up! Put him up! It's not worth it! It's just not worth it! Goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy.
Yeah.
Open sesame!
Hello, operator. Get me the Navy.
Hello. You've reached the Navy's automated phone service.
Squidward, the robots are running the Navy.
Not the Navy!
You're going down, Tubby.
Tubby? Nobody calls me Tubby!
All right, Jack.
Hey, Patrick. I didn't know you spoke bird.
No, that's Italian, SpongeBob.
Oh shit. Poisoned.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date
Now it's
which
quiet.
will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
Damn.
That's a big boot. Don't worry. This'll only hurt a lot.
This shit's quiet as hell, man.
I love this job. Platoon, how tough are you?
How tough am I?
Wow.
Got any more tattoos?
That won't be necessary. Go ahead.
Thanks. See you inside, SpongeBob.
How tough are you?
How tough am I? Got a new bottle of ketchup?
Sure.
It's on.
Nigga is gonna kill us. Nah, he just looks big. We'll show him. Yeah.
Shit.
Damn.
Ooh, I think I stepped in something.
You're overamping that shit too much.
I can explain.
Z, the letter after Y.
W, X, Y, Z. Plan Z. Here it is. Just like you said.
Oh, boy.
Oh. It's evil. It's diabolical. It's lemon-scented. This Plan Z can't possibly fail.
It's 9,000. Yeah, let's look at that. Now it's getting a bit overamped and shit. Trying to look for the channel. Oh, Mister. Oh, here we go. There we go. Talks about Mormons. Hey, I like this guy already. Mr. D goes to Washington. Wants to see. Thing will follow up. Okay, I got back to the other one. Progress you. There you go.
A while back, the good people at my alma mater, Prager University, go Devils, produced a video titled, "Does Science Argue For or Against God?" Apparently, it never occurred to them to just ask scientists. They would know, right? For instance, top scientists at the National Academy of Sciences, the vast majority of whom are non-believers. They clearly didn't want to know the answer. Instead, the PU video is simply an attempt to make the fine-tuning argument for God's existence, the essence of which claims that there are a very narrow set of physical conditions and constants under which life in our universe is possible. Therefore, they argue, someone or something must have set up the universe in just that way. First, let's note that this is merely an argument. Arguments are not evidence, and actual evidence is required to establish the existence of anything. This is not a minor point, so let's not forget it as we move forward. Second, the argument merely begs the question, is the universe fine-tuned for us?
Nope.
Or are we fine-tuned for the universe in which we find ourselves?
I don't know.
Had our universe evolved in another direction, who's to say that other forms of life, forms that we can't even begin to imagine, wouldn't have evolved in a way which, by all appearances, seemed fine-tuned for that universe. Third, like almost all arguments for the existence of God, the fine-tuning argument is really just another argument from ignorance, completely lacking in imagination. The fact is, we don't know under what conditions sentient or non-sentient life is possible. We have a good idea regarding the conditions required for our kind of carbon-based life, but we have no idea if or whether there are other forms of life in this universe. Even here on our own planet, we are still constantly being surprised when we find life in places we previously thought life to be impossible. Ironically, the fine-tuning argument was originally made by the Homo erectus scholar Nuck L. Dragon at a TED Talk in 2,004 BCE. Obviously, the universe was not so fine-tuned for his ilk as Professor Dragon suggested. And yes, TED Talks have been around that long. But the biggest problem with the fine-tuning argument for the existence of God demonstrates just how devious Judeo-Christian apologists have become, as the fine-tuning argument, like almost all other seemingly fact-based arguments for the existence of God, is not in reality an argument for the God of Abraham. It's an argument for a deist God, which tells us absolutely nothing about the character and will of this supposed creator. This tactic is disingenuous at best, taking an argument for a wholly different kind of God with which Jews, Christians, Muslims, and their holy books want no part, and using it to their own ends. The fine-tuning argument gets you no farther than an impersonal creative force. For all we know, the creative part wasn't even intentional. That would fit perfectly within the deist concept of a God, small g, and the fine-tuning argument. But the Judeo-Christian God is not a deist God who simply sets the ball rolling and then slips undetected into the background. The deist concept of God does, in fact, make some sense given the utter disregard for the well-being of sentient creatures in our universe. But that God in no way resembles the tribal war God of Abraham. That deist god is anathema to Judeo-Christian
Sup, Jack?
theology,
Welcome back.
and yet they'll embrace the concept, deceitfully suggesting it as their own in order to trick people like you. Well, not you, obviously you're here, nothing gets past you, right? But those other folks. Indeed, if the heavens declare the glory of God, as suggested by Scripture, life on this planet declares only God's infinite, immeasurable love for the suffering of sentient beings.
This life is filled with an immeasurable amount of injustice and suffering.
It is simply not enough for those embracing Judeo-Christian theology to offer evidence of an impersonal creative force. They need to demonstrate a personal being who clearly cares for his creation, using his omniscience and omnipotence to that end. You cannot find that here on planet Earth. On the contrary, what you will find is a being who, when all the evidence is considered, cares for us no more than he cared for Professor Dragon and his species. The only thing for which we seem finely tuned is suffering and misery.
This life is filled with an immeasurable amount of injustice and suffering.
A state in which the tribal war god of Abraham, according to his own followers, left us for tens and hundreds of thousands of years before he finally decided to make himself known. And even then, he couldn't be bothered to direct us away from slavery, rape, or genocide. This is not fine-tuning, my friends. This is utter neglect and disregard. If we are an act of creation in a universe finely tuned for us, our creator is either a sadist or entirely incompetent. For that, the evidence is overwhelming.
Dum dum dum. Let's try this one. Free will follow-up. Okay, let's try that one.
Can you make this equal 101?
In the comments section of my recent Prager FU video on the subject of free will, people noted that I didn't really have much to say on the actual
Free
subject.
Willy.
Of course, I didn't have a choice.
Ta-
That was not really the point of the video. See what I did there? Let me begin with this. I'm not sure I know exactly what we're talking about when we speak of free will, but I'm fairly confident about this. To the extent that free will exists at all, it exists on a continuum. We most certainly are not all gifted with the same degree or amount of this thing we call free will, however you want to define that. My thinking on the matter comes mostly from what we've been able to discover about ourselves and how our brains work. In particular, the degree to which all of us are constrained by the functionality of our brains or the lack thereof. We now know that damage to specific parts of the brain, either organically or due to trauma, often fundamentally change who we are and what we want. That can range from a sudden desire to ingest kiddie porn to an uncontrollable urge to commit mass murder. In two such cases, people were at the mercy of a mass, not that Catholic thing, a tumor which fundamentally altered who they were and caused them to act in ways entirely inconsistent with who they were before. Did those people have free will? I don't think anyone would say they did, but if we can agree on such an obvious case, what about the other variables we all understand in terms of their importance in shaping who we are, but don't often consider when it comes to this question? The broader picture, while not quite so dramatic, is equally compelling. What does it mean to say that we have free will when none of us have had any say in who we are and how we came to be? There are an almost infinite set of variables that we now know play a significant role both individually and collectively in making us who we are, and we chose none of them. From the place and time in history into which we were born, to our genetics, to our parents, to the people who had influence over us when we were young, to our innate abilities and talents, to our skin color or height, or even the color of our hair. These things play a major role in who we will become and the opportunities that we will have open to us. We are also now aware of the influence evolution has had on our entire species and how certain things are hardwired into our brains, things about which we have absolutely no say. As I grow older, I'm continually amazed and often creeped out by how much I'm still attracted to young, beautiful women. Shocking, huh? These
All
are
right.
not women with whom I would choose to have a relationship. I'm just not fond of explaining the 70s or my Bob Newhart references to a potential partner. No, Bill Daley is the neighbor. But biologically, my brain is hardwired to see female youth and beauty as an indicator of genetic fitness, a sign that my offspring will benefit from my DNA merging with hers, if you'll forgive the disgusting imagery. Indeed, the entire subject of desire is suggestive of our lack of choices. We do not choose our desires, but rather have them thrust upon us from, well, who knows where. We've finally begun to understand this as a society. I didn't choose to be sexually attracted to women any more than a gay man chooses to be attracted to other men. In other cases, something as simple as a traumatic event can have an impact on us we would not otherwise choose, but are rather subject to. We see this all the time in cases of mental illness. Our brains, which make up who we are, and I don't really think that's an open question at this point, are molded by the events of our lives and can physically change in response to trauma. It's a disturbing thought, but that is the reality. And to the extent that we are subject to such impositions on our very being, we are either more or less free. And we haven't even gotten into things like innate intelligence, talents, or personality, which anyone who has raised children knows is there to a very large extent from day one. To me, one thing is clear. The person I am today or at any given moment in my life is entirely contingent on an endless set of variables which came before, and over which I had little or no control. Those variables and the influence they've had on my life and my previous choices will impact my choices today and the choices I make in the future, even to the extent that some choices will be entirely removed along the way. Had those prior variables been otherwise, I wouldn't be the same person I am at this moment. And that more than likely would cause me to make a different decision, a different choice today. In other words, I may indeed be asserting my will in any choice I make today, but the endless set of variables that made me the person who made that choice was not chosen by me. I am a reaction to stimuli both internal and external, much of which I'm not even aware. I didn't freely or completely choose to be the person I am today any more than I choose to be heterosexual or someone who has a natural talent for music or drawing. That, at the very least, limits my freedom to choose and even the opportunities I have to choose from. As we more and more come to terms with the science involved and the discoveries we're making, we'll all be forced to rethink these ideas. And no one hates rethinking things based on scientific evidence more than the religious. So don't expect them to yield on this question anytime soon, especially when it's at the heart of their theology. For me, these understandings have had a major impact on my thinking, mostly in terms of the compassion I have for my fellow human beings. Several years ago, I made a couple of videos about the role luck plays in all of our lives. After viewing those videos, a friend of mine who teaches cognitive science at a nearby university told me that she really liked them. But, she said, there's really only one element of luck in life. We are either born with the wherewithal to handle whatever comes at us, or we're not. That's not a resource anyone gets to choose. I'm me, not that I would have chosen to be me. Thanks for watching.
Boy, you got some views on it. You got 66,000 subscribers. He is very knowledgeable. Extremely knowledgeable. God, what else is next? What else can I play next? Fucking let's fuck around with this.
Are you ready, stoners? Oh! Hold on, kid. Oh! Who lives in a bung in a dormitory? SpongeBob disgusting and green and sticky as he. SpongeBob it's smoking the chronic is something you do. SpongeBob put your thumb on the cob and he'll smoke it with you. SpongeBob SpongeBob
It's oldie but goodie. I love it.
You know, Hashbrick, I can't think of anything better than hanging out with my best friend and playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I know one thing that could make it better.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think I am.
Then I'll just roll up a big fat... Oh no!
What's wrong, SpongeBob?
We're out of seaweed! Wait, I've got an idea.
What?
Let's go get some more.
Good idea. Seconds later.
Later.
What do you want, SpongeBob?
Hi, Splifford. We'd like one sack of primo seaweed, please.
That'll be 65 clams.
65 clams, huh? Hold on. Here you go.
That's just a bunch of junk. Not worth a stem. Get out of here.
Splifford, please, just this one time. You gotta help me out, man. I swear I'll pay you back, please.
No. And don't come back till you have 65 clams or something that's worth 65 clams.
But we're broke and we don't have anything that's worth 65 clams.
Then sell your asses on the street.
Damn.
Oh no, what are we gonna do? I don't want to sell my ass on the street.
I have an idea.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
Sure. Now we can trade this stolen stereo for some seaweed. I do it all the time.
Yay! And our asses remain unsullied.
Hey! What are you doing to my car? Get back here with my stereo, you bottom feeders!
Seconds later.
One of you.
Check it out, we got an index CD, DVD, MP3 player with 32,000 color TFT display and detachable face. Can we get a sack of seaweed for this?
Hell yes.
Thank you.
This thing is awesome. My stereo! Give me back my stereo! Uh-oh. That's stolen goods, and I'm stealing it back. You got that, sucker? I got it, all right.
Hey, you think Splitward is gonna be okay?
Who cares?
Yeah! Screw him!
He's a jerk.
Hashpick, I think we're getting busted again.
So what?
So what?
And let's watch the. Now here we go. Fuck that. God damn. Shit, oh here we go. We're gonna watch some food. Goddamn commercial. Hate 15-second commercial shit. Hurry the hell up.
My
I,
favorite burgers.
I like this dude.
love Joe Jr. Apple Pan. Wendy's Baconator. Woo! Get the Wendy's Baconator. Extra cheese. Add onion and pickles. That's nice. Wendy's, send the check. Send the check, Wendy.
I'll look at the next check.
The very first thing I think I ever did with Munchies, I showed the world how to make a cheeseburger. Edit back to that first video right now. Look at that beautiful guy. I have a goatee, I think a broken tooth, a couple pounds lighter. We've had a beautiful life together. I'm going to show you how to make the Parts and Labor cheeseburger. Parts and Labor is the restaurant I opened when I was 27 years old. You can find this recipe in my cookbook. So we're just going to make a quick little bacon onion jam. So literally we're just going to slice up our bacon. And I'm just going to make some lardon. Bacon onion jam is literally just bacon, onions, red wine vinegar, butter, salt, and we're gonna cook that down for a long, long time. The fat of the bacon is gonna like emulsify and really make the onions absolutely delicious. Here's a big pot, it's preheated. You don't have to add anything to it. And what you wanna do is kind of have it at a medium heat. So you need that little, here's a little tab of acid. Lick on that for a while, Open your mind. Now we've got all the onions are nice and coated. And eventually, after hours of cooking, literally hours of cooking, all these onions are gonna be super, super caramelized. So we're just gonna power through and we're gonna make some cheeseburgers, okay? Yeah!
This guy's
Now,
crazy.
This is just a big old greasy ball of ground beef. I think the perfect patty size for a cheeseburger, 6 ounces. I don't have a scale here, so we're gonna eyeball it. So like a good palm. We're just gonna pat it around. Just use your fingers and you mold out kind of like a perfect little patty. I'm just gonna make 2. I think 2's more than enough. You don't want to season anything. You don't want to put breadcrumbs or Worcestershire sauce or anything like that. You just want to have like treat your burgers like steak. I'm gonna make our dill pickle mayo. We're gonna slice those puppies up and we're gonna add mayonnaise.
Fuck yeah.
It's like a mayo relish. I got about a cup of diced dill pickle. We're gonna add a cup of mayo of your preference. I'm a Hellman's guy.
All right, Jack.
Hellman's.
Seen a little bit.
We got a cast iron pan. We want to get hot, but not super hot. This is like a medium high. So we're just gonna season it with salt and pepper. Our cast iron pan is warm. You can see that it's not smoking, and we're just gonna push it down a little bit to get that contact. So our patties are going. Our bacon onion jam cooking to the side. So once you get this to caramelization, add a cup of red wine vinegar. Give it a stir. You can just keep cooking that. And that
Damn.
vinegar really
Making me hungry.
makes this bacon onion jam something else. Let me show you something. This is a switch out, okay? Let's be real. Let's be real. So this is what it's gonna look like. And this takes hours and hours to do. So we're gonna flip the burgers. Look at this. Oh, man, see that?
Oh
Nice
God,
and crispy.
yeah.
Ah! I'm in love. So we have beautiful little potato buns, brioche buns, any kind, just get a good bun. So we're just gonna butter our buns, cause you always butter your buns. And you want it to be just like a grilled cheese almost. So at this moment, these burgers are still like medium rare. I'm just gonna put on some bacon onion jam on top of each one. A good pile. Boom, 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 boom. And then Monterey Jack cheese. We're just gonna put a few slices on there. Oh.
Oh.
I love it!
God dang.
Our buns are good. Like little donuts. Little soft donuts. Nice. Now, we're gonna turn the heat off. Shut it down. Put a lid on. Just take a little water. We're just gonna steam it, and it's gonna steam the cheese really quickly. We're gonna plate these up. Bottoms. Beautifully soft. We're gonna put a little sauce on the bottom of each bird.
Then a little iceberg lettuce, a little crunch. Iceberg lettuce is the greatest lettuce of all time. Look at that.
Two big meatballs, goddamn.
That's a good guy. And now we're gonna put that on top. Put that
Two
guy
on
on
two
top.
on
Now we're
mine.
gonna just put a big old plop. Dill pickle mayo on top of this guy. Look at this. Jesus Murphy. These burgers could talk. How many chefs hated making these? You'd have to work Burger Station for 1 month. But if you could make these burgers at Parts and Labor, you'd have the respect of the crew. These are messy. These are kind of messy burgers. Look at that. I'm going to try a bite right now. Oh my God. So good. It's the best. It's the best.
God, I know if you don't like meat, it's not too appealing, but damn, that's so good to me. Let's try this one. Here we go.
All right, last call of the day. Calling from a 785 area code. Who's this?
Yeah, this is John Connor from Los Angeles, California.
John Connor. Terminator looking for you.
Make a comment about the charter schools. The reason that charter schools are failures is actually because the same reason why urban public schools are big failures. It's entirely comprised of low IQ, like city-dwelling minorities. You know, it's common knowledge that blacks score lower on standardized testing. Rich blacks actually score on the same level as poor whites. And I know this is triggering to liberal progressives because, you know, kumbaya, we are all one. But there are huge differences in race, and that's why you see urban cities with such horrible scores. And that's why you see such differences in performance by races.
Right. So you're saying like poor whites in Appalachia, they do very well in school.
They do on the same level as rich blacks.
Really? Where are you getting your data from?
Really? This is common knowledge, Sam.
Come on, where do you get it from?
Really? I mean, come on. You're a white person. You should know better. We're going to need citations.
Why do you assume that I'm white? Why are you assuming my race?
Because you're racist.
Well, maybe.
And
I mean,
that's the basis
what's
of
your
your
race?
common knowledge.
What's your race?
Why does my race matter? Why are you deflecting the argument?
Well, because I want to know if I'm talking to a smart person or not.
Why does it matter?
You just told me that race. Wait a second. Excuse me. Did you or did you not just say that there is an IQ difference between races?
I definitely said that.
Okay, so I'm asking you. I want to know if I'm talking to an idiot or a smart person. So I need to know your race.
What does my race have to do with me being an idiot or a smart person?
You just told me it was predictive of intelligence. So what is it? What's your race?
On average.
What is your race?
It doesn't matter what my race is, Sam.
What are you talking about? You just told me that race was determinant about intelligence.
What does my intelligence matter? What if, let's say
well, I don't know if I want to talk to an idiot. I don't know if I want to talk to a total moron. So I just want to know what your race is.
I'm white, Sam.
What?
Whoa! Got me. You got me. You got me. Gotcha, Boomer.
Okay, so listen. You're really super smart. Tell me where the citation of where you get your facts from.
You want me to just list out every one of them and every different source that I have?
Couple.
How much time do we have here?
I mean, enough for you to cite at least a couple of places.
Are you going to turn the music off? Or are you just going to make a mockery of this because you have no real argument?
Mockery.
This is what liberals often do.
Go mockery.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's the citation?
I'm not going to, play your game with this. And if you want